Terrible timing.
Welcome, folks, to a special edition of CKP Inside. CKP Inside, sure. With our book launch, and today we have the absolutely amazing, fabulous, wonderful. I could go on with adjectives forever, but you want to hear about her book, Marie Whittaker! Yay! This is exciting to have her here. So exciting. And it looks like folks are joining. Yes.
Yay.
So cool. So Marie's here to talk about her brand new book, brand new release, Embers and Ash. So we're going to do a Q&A. I'm sure you guys will cause shenanigans in the comments. So we will bring some of those on the screen. We'll do all those good things. But before we jump into that, we are going to do a couple of cool slides. Producer Jeremy, who is not on screen, is going to do all the technical things so I can have maximum enthusiastic flailing. There he is. This way I can flail and I don't have to click on things, which Marie and I have talked about. We don't like clicking on things.
No, and we were warned not to flail, but we're probably, we warmed up, we're ready to flail. So
we're ready to flail. That should be the tagline of like this in general. So Jeremy, do you want to show people where they can find Marie? And then Marie, you can talk over. Okay, sorry. Jeremy's going to prompt me. One, here you are. This is the Chris Kennedy Publishing YouTube page. So thank you to the boss who allows this to happen. So Chris Kennedy Publishing, you can check out his website. You can check out his Patreon. You can like and subscribe to this page so that you always get a heads up on these incredible books that come through. As you may have noticed, there are a lot of really, really great fantasy novels coming out these days, including this incredible one we're going to talk about tonight. Also incredible sci-fi. There's all the stuff you could ever want at CKP. We're going to focus on the fantasy tonight, which will be great. James is trying to click on the video. It's all good. Okay, so Marie, tell people where to find you.
Okay, well, you can find everything that I've got going on over at mariewhitaker.com. I just had it redone because I really wanted to start blogging more. So it's a blogging site, and it's like I just got started with it, so it's not completely full yet, but that's my home on the internet. I hang out on Instagram a lot. I have like a lot of fur babies, and so I post a lot of animal pics and just stuff like that. I just really like the visual side of things. So a lot of times I post to Facebook and Twitter through there, but I'm also on Facebook a lot, and Twitter and Pinterest. I do a lot of stuff on Pinterest as well.
Nice. I was just playing at my phone while you were talking, like, I'm not following Marie on Instagram, and that seems ridiculous. So we're going to fix that. But yes, definitely follow Marie, get to know her better if you don't already know her awesomeness. And I mean, fur babies, who can say no to fur babies? Right? I love that. Awesome. Okay, so folks, so exciting. I know we were talking about how I'm just kind of like, Jeremy does a very well-ordered interview. I am chaos. Me
too. This is going to go great.
Yes. So much fun. We're going to scroll all over this. It's going to be so great. I love it. So Marie, as you got this, James. Thanks. Todd knows what's up. So as we jump in, you have a lot of books. This is your first Eldros novel. You've got several short stories. You have a lot of books. Do you want to tell people what to expect from a Marie Whittaker story?
Sure. So I got my start in horror whenever I got my first publication and everything. And it's just something that I still enjoy to the day. And I've gone across genre a lot and just, worked my way out just from straight horror. It started off psychological horror, and then it went to really supernatural, like hauntings and things like that when I researched and did The Witcher Chime. And then I started just getting a real feel for urban fantasy, but it was really dark. And after that, I moved into doing fantasy work, which is not just straight epic. There are a lot of dark elements and, a lot of things that you'll find in a lot of standard like horror books and things like that. So I guess the answer in a nutshell is I'm a dark fantasy author, and it goes into any genre that I write in. There's some dark elements and some elements of horror. Even my kids' book, I couldn't stop myself. I did Lola Hopscotch and the Spookaroo
Yes.
because there are kids who love horror too, and Halloween is my favorite holiday, so that one's really autumn and fall centered and stuff. So yep, I've got a little bit of dark stuff going in all my genres.
I love it. I love it. So, like many of you probably in the chat, my to be read pile is absurd. But I was talking, oh my God, out of control. It's fine. I was talking to Marie and she was like, yeah, I wrote epic fantasy, but it's like gothic epic fantasy. It's like dark fan. And I was like, yeah. So did this just jump to the top of my to be read pile? So,
Well, it's good to hear you like that stuff. That's good.
I
That's
do. I
good.
do.
Yeah, Embers has a lot of like bats and castles and things like that.
It's got a mood to it. Like it's evocative.
It is moody. Yes, it is very moody.
I love it. Okay, so Embers and Ash, brand new. Look at how beautiful it is, you guys.
I just love this cover so much.
Okay, what did you the covers for the Eldros books have been amazing. What did you first think when you got that one?
I just when I first saw the art, it didn't have the Thuros around it, and it didn't have like Embers and Ash above it. It had the cauldron with the readers around it and everything, and I just loved it. It was everything that I wanted, except I said, okay, make it darker over here and darker over here, and then make the crown pop and more fire. And yeah, it's a beautiful cover. It really is. Jake Caleb, I believe is his name. I haven't been able to meet him in person yet, but he's obviously super talented, and I am really grateful to have such beautiful art on this book.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. I mean, we all judge books by their covers. Like it's
Yep, it's the first look, and he nailed it. He did a really, really great job.
That's awesome. Okay, so you mentioned the Thuros. So for folks who might be a little bit more new to this world, what would be like the elevator pitch of the Eldros world?
For Eldros, it's a multi-author epic fantasy event, and there are 5 continents with 5 founders, and we have each been lucky enough to find wonderful authors to collaborate with on our special continents. And so in doing that, there's like different threads and different stories going on all the different continents, and we are working up to our one big kind of crescendo. It's kind of like a huge blending of everything, and I don't want to say it's going to be a war or anything, but it's probably going to be a war. We have people like Quincy J. Allen, and we talk about things like water goblins, so there has to be, right? So I'm really excited about that. And so each founder will do 4 books, and then at the end of that first series, that's when like everything just kind of opens up and all the continents can know about each other and travel and things like that. So yeah, right now they're not traveling. People are not traveling between continents. There is no Delta Airlines. So
not yet. But there are. Do you want to tell folks what a Thuros is?
Yeah, Thuros is a gateway. And it is multi-dimensional, and we're defining them, as to where they go, who can pass through, what it takes to get there, what it feels like, is it scary, just that sort of thing. And of course that comes out, in a lot of the ways that different characters are going to feel when they interact with the Thuros. But they take a Plunos, which is a key, and they are coins. Look at, just
interesting.
Kind of like our beautiful challenge coin kind of a thing, only not quite exactly like that. But yeah, so that's what they are. They are gateways. It's kind of like Portal Fantasy meets more awesome.
Yes, I love it. Portal Fantasy turned up to 11. Like, just, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you want to show? Yeah. Thanks, Dan. Yes, it's super chill. It definitely won't wrench your heart out. Also, just like so you know what you're getting into with Marie's story, Courtney has never actually recovered from reading one of Marie's stories. So, fair warning.
So Courtney was in my writers group. Courtney and I go back pretty far, years, like over a decade. And she read some of the Witcher Chime for me, and she read it at night before bed, and it kind of broke her a little bit. And I felt for a minute, but inside I was like, yes.
This is sorry, not sorry. Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, and Courtney, actually, since we're talking about it, Courtney has a book coming out that's set on Pyronon, and it's great. She kind of chronicles a prince of Pyronon. So,
oh my goodness, congrats, Courtney! Yeah, those water goblins, man, they're super peaceful too. That's what I hear, Jamie. I don't know.
They are just so not. Courtney has a lot of water goblins in her book. Not
super chill book.
So probably not.
Very low key. Yeah, nothing crazy will happen. Actually, Marie, you talked about the 5 continents, but I don't think you talked about Pyronon specifically. Do you want to hold up that coin again?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So this is. Let me take it out of its little plastic envelope. Pyronon has a lot of volcanoes on it. There you go. Oopsie. There. You see that? Okay. This is the official collector's coin, challenge coin of Pyronon. Let me flip it around here, and there are all 5 of the different continents and the different colors. Of course, you'll see Rob is at the top here with Sharon. So this actually is Pyronon in a nutshell. A lot of fire from all of the volcanoes, and then it's really gem rich because of all of the pyroclastic activity and everything, all the lava flows and everything. So there are gems and everything everywhere in all the soil. It's honeycombed with pyroducts beneath, and that added a lot of ways for me to add what's down there.
Oh my goodness,
and that's been a lot of fun. So yeah, a lot of catacombs, and the people on Pyronon can go down into some of the closed off pyroducts for shelter whenever a volcano erupts close to their town and things like that. Modes of transportation include horses and bats. I have a lot of different kinds of bats. They range from little cave bats all the way up to ginormous airplane-sized bats. And I like the whole vision of, leathery spanned wings and things like that. It really helped me get into it when I was just starting to put the concept together for Pyronon. I had bats on my mind. I had really gothic castles with a lot of arched windows and things like that on my mind. I pulled up all kinds of images on the internet and just had things like kind of staged when I was outlining and stuff. It was a lot of fun.
Okay, we're gonna come back and talk about process, because that right there sounds very gothic-y. Like you're just surrounded by this like mood board. We're coming back to that. That sounds delightful.
Sure.
Yes, right. And now we know about the Pinterest. So Jonathan had this fabulous question: is Embers and Ash dark epic fantasy, or is it grim dark?
It's dark epic fantasy. I wouldn't say it's grim dark. Yeah, that's a really fine line distinction, though. Wow.
It is, right? But I feel like grim dark is like unrelentingly dark, though.
Yeah.
Like there's very little hope. Everybody gets crushed.
There is a lot of hope. It's also kind of a coming of age story about a queen who starts as a teenager, and by the end of the book, all of that is out of her system, and she's done some things that she's not proud of. Her character arc has just, been up and down and up and down. She's really been through it. The death of her parents and a whole bunch of things really created the creature that she is at the end of the book. So yeah, but not grim dark, because there's still like a really happy ending and things like that.
Okay, Look, there you go. Your soul will not be crushed at the end. Also, Todd jumped in right off the bat with puns. So
of
nice
course
job.
he did.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd
right
worry about him if he didn't.
Who is actually typing under Todd's name right now?
Right.
So as you were thinking of your, so let's jump to process and then we'll jump to story.
Okay.
So in setting up the leathery wings and the bats, and apparently there are multiple monsters. What was your process, and are there any like water goblin type things you want to tell us about?
So, one of my favorite creatures on Pyronon, and they're not water goblins, they are called the Arachlin, and they are a human arachnid hybrid, and they have 8 legs. They are very human, as in they have their own society, and things like that. And their king is King Carib, and he is a really, really good king. He is salt of the earth kind of person. Arachlin are very deadly. Most of them are good, but some of them, when they turn really, really bad, they go rogue, and they get very vampiric, and they prey on people like humans. So rogue Arachlin, when they bite somebody, there's a lot of poison. They're, not venom, but definitely poison. They can kill people or just disable people or do whatever they want. So a rogue Arachlin is a really big monster on Pyronon. They haven't really shown their fangs a whole bunch yet in my book. So far, we just had the good ones, because we had the coronation of a queen and everything. We had all hands on deck for that. So the Arachlin had to make a presence. Make their presence known at all of the steps that were involved in that. I have several different beasties that are coming up in the series. One of my favorites beside Arachlin are called Mist Lords, and they erupted whenever the Mistmore Causeway was formed, back after our Great War that happened all over all of Eldros. And they're kind of like a to-be-seen creature. What we know right now is they sound like thunder, and they're huge. Their shadows are just immense. So it's got a little bit of a Stephen King feel with them coming through the mist and things like that, which, that's, again, coming from my heart as a horror writer. I just had to. So those are a couple of the things that are going on there. I also have the Trom. Trom are chameleon beings. They are formed like in pea pods and vines and forests. They can blend into pretty much anything. So they're really good thieves. So Steve Ruskin is creating a Trom character right now for his upcoming book, which I'm totally excited about, because he's also just I'm just really blessed with my cohorts. I will gush about them for hours.
Yay.
So he's another one that I will just gush about. So yeah.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I would like some of the trash talking has also started in the comments. So before we get there, I know, right? I had to, right? I had to, just a little.
Yeah.
But so Haley, who is one of the cohort authors, has apparently 3 of these challenge coins / gate allowing tokens. So she's still going for 2 more. We should for sure tell you that tonight you get a chance to win a Pyronon coin, maybe the very one that Marie is holding right now.
This one right here, super pretty.
Look how pretty it is.
It's like an epic fantasy bling.
Right? It does. I do. I've said this to a couple of people. I am a goblin at heart. Not a water goblin. I think they sound a little meaner and chiller than me. But like the treasures, I love the treasures. And so Haley would also like to collect all 5 of these coins. It's fine. Just a little graspy goblin fingers. I don't blame you. But of course, the trash talking begins. Down, Steverson. That, of course he did.
Of course.
He's a great writer and very competitive, so look out. But Becca has 1 coin, but she's saying it takes her to the coolest continent, which is a little bit of some Eldros trash talking. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, she needs to step on over to the literal dark side.
Right. Well, and I mean, Pyronon can't be the coolest continent because it's full of fire. So it's the
No.
hottest continent. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
although apparently the bats are the coolest. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love you guys. This is so great.
Courtney created a big white bat in her book, and when we do like a formal cover reveal, be excited because that cover is gorgeous. It's got just all the right stuff on it.
Oh my goodness, Courtney, call your girl. Let's talk art and books. Oh my gosh, that sounds fantastic. Okay, we got Todd's pun. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything else. James would like to know if this is a kissing book. Is this a kissing book?
There is. Okay, so we have a rule. Mm-hmm. We have a rule where we will not do the graphic in the scene type thing, which is actually a little bit new for me, and it's a little bit new for Todd. I know we've each, just gone there. But so yeah, there's some kissing. There's some kissing in this book, and some off-camera stuff. Some implied. Yeah. It's very implied. So yes, it's not overly kissy though. We decided we didn't want to have a whole lot of that. There is some romance in it, of course, but it's not overly kissy.
Can it be gothic fantasy without a little bit of romance? I would say no.
Yeah, no, it's got to have some of that in there.
Yeah. Todd noticed that I also punned. That was good. You set it up though, Todd. It was helpful. But also, I think you've got another convert over here, Marie. So Melissa with the dark gothic aesthetic. So good.
Yeah. Let's talk.
Yeah. Oh, you should. So Melissa is freaking phenomenal. Like she is. I will brag about her all day. Just like you'll brag about your core, I will brag about her. She's fantastic, and she loves the little bit of dark, like super cute, but maybe like super dark underneath. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. Yes, exactly. Since the boss is here, hi boss. He also said like between us, apparently there's a thumbs up icon, and it's pretty cool between the two of us. So you just click that thumbs up, make it happen. And also, let's agree, creepy spider people and bat queens, like how do we say this? Nick, perfect segue into tell us about the story. Like, what is the overarching story of Embers and Ash? She said by the end, the queen is a creature. I heard that happen.
Well,
spoilers, but
she goes through a lot. Yeah. So in the beginning, we see her name is Mahala, Princess Mahala. She does not want to be queen because all the queen's reigns are cursed by the never-aging man, who is a demon and an old knight that has been in that palace for over 1,700 years. And there's a curse where he controls the queen, he reigns through her, and he kills all the kings after a while. He makes them go insane and they eventually die. And she's just like, well, that's not for me, no matter if it's my birthright or not. So she plans to take off and hightail it out of there before she can. And this is when she's a teenager. But just when she's getting ready to go, of course, the queen and the king are mysteriously killed, and she's forced into doing everything that she did not want to do. So it's her journey. She's still fighting it all the way through. And her new imperative, of course, is to finally rid Pyrrhia, the capital, of this demon. His name is Banner. And so that becomes her new journey, is taking care of this guy, getting him just totally out of the way so that she can be a good queen and reign in her own right. So along the way, she meets quite the cast of characters. She finds out why the queens over time have been eating raw meat, and that is to support their magic. The iron is supposed to give them more longevity with their magic and things like that. So that Bannerlin has prepared fresh meat for them, and she finds out where that meat has been coming from. So in the end, she is a little bit of a creature. Her magic is endowed heavily from where she's been eating this raw meat. So that's, I don't want to totally spoil that part because that's one of the great biggest plot points in Embers and Ash. Um, so yeah, towards the end, she learns to stop running, take control, and kick some ass.
Oh,
So
yes.
yeah.
Oh, we love the ass kickery. An ass kicking queen? Hell yes. And this is actually exactly I was going to pull up. Producer Jeremy, you're a rock star. So, yeah, I mean, even Fred Savage ended up liking the kissing in The Princess Bride. So don't poo-poo the kissing. There's always a good ratio. Plus, you wouldn't be here if there wasn't some romance. So
Yes. Yep, for sure.
you're welcome. Somewhere way before in the chat, I did not forget, Becca. I saw your question, so I can't pull it up. But Becca had a great question about what is your favorite thing about writing fantasy or dark fantasy or gothic fantasy?
Oh my gosh. It's endless possibilities of getaways, I think. Creating fantastical creatures and fantastical settings is probably one of my absolute favorite things to do, especially the settings.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think that's my favorite part about it is creating settings and trying to make a deep enough story that it's absolutely a rabbit hole that you can get lost in and love it the whole way. So
Yes.
yeah, epic fantasy, this genre allows us to really play that way. I just finished reading Seeds of Dominion by Quincy Allen. That was his pilot book for Daemonon. I found out what the Seeds of Dominion actually are, and I'd always been wondering because that title for me is just a real hook. It's toward the end of the book, and just talking about setting scenes and stuff like that. That's one of the things that I really enjoyed about Quincy's book. He set the scenes really well, and I really appreciated his book. So get that one too. I mean, they're all really good books, but Quincy's Chris Kennedy said a while back that was probably one of Quincy's best books, or maybe the best book that he has published for Quincy so far. I would have to agree. Seeds of Dominion is a really great book.
That's awesome. That's also a high bar, guys. Quincy is.
It's a very high bar.
It's a high bar, right?
Like Quincy for I don't know, 12 years or something like that. I've read a lot of his stuff, and
nice.
It's a great book.
That's awesome. I mean, you're not going to find a bad writer in this bunch, guys. I am super biased, but also I'm not a very good bullshitter. So let's be clear, these are good books. Speaking of, I don't have a segue for this, Jonathan. Can there be a Lola Hopscotch kicking demon butt cameo? A little spooky.
I don't know how I would pull that off.
It's like somebody running through the background in a hallway.
Hippity hopping with a sword.
We do know that there are bunnies that can cause run away.
Exactly. Yeah. Vorpal bun. We have there's always Vorpal bun. I do have a white bunny because he's kind of a gruff snort. So yes, it's possible. That was funny.
Anything could happen. You'll have to read the books. Right. So maybe not in Embers and Ash, but maybe the next Marie Pyronon book.
Maybe some sort of bunny warrior. That would be hilarious.
I think, in a world where there are giant airplane-sized bats, I see a ferocious bunny. Yeah. You definitely want Melissa for that. Melissa is the salvage bunny, so you'll get that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So Todd, of course, it had been 5 minutes, I think, since his last pun, so I'm really glad that he popped up here, that you don't want to spoil the meat. That's really important. Any way you slice it, that's a pun. All right. Yeah. That's fine. Although, good call, Dan. So the real question is, in a land of volcanoes and raw meat, there's going to be barbecue, though, right? No?
Yeah, it's called char. Yep. So people, different places on Pyronon, different pubs and stuff are known for the best char in different regions. So one of my characters, Trey McDunn, he travels and he plots his routes according to where the best char is. So yeah, that was a good question.
That's a great question. I wonder, Todd, did you secretly know, or Dan, did you secretly know? But also, I love that. So, and that also goes to like your scene building, right? Like you love the world building, you love the scene building. What do people do? They eat. So, what a cool detail to work into the world. That's awesome.
Well, thanks. It was fun.
That's so cool. So yeah, I think it's so much fun. Create the world building stuff is so cool. So what comes first for you? Do you have your character first? Do you have your setting first? Are you Pinterest building your mood boards first? Like how does that process go for you?
Usually a character. A character will somehow just come out of like whenever the other founders and I first started talking about how our character or our continents were going to evolve and the kind of creatures and people and quests that were going to happen on our continents. I knew that I wanted it to be to have some. Well, okay, so this is kind of a multifaceted answer, but I knew I wanted to explore some swapping of gender roles in power. And so that, of course, made me think of what kind of a powerful ruler I would want to create. I also like anti-heroes and, reluctant heroes and stuff like that. So I really wanted to do something coming of age. So that's how it got started. I wanted some duplicity, so I created a twin. She has a twin brother, and that's the character that Courtney Farrell is writing. So there's a lot of tension there. So yeah, when I come up with a character, then it's easy to kind of segue right into a setting for me, because if you have a character in mind, what is her world like?
Step back.
So, yeah. And so I wanted it to be dark, but I also wanted it to be very vast. So yeah, I got to kind of play with things that are like the norm. Castles are normally notoriously cold and stuff like that. Mine are not. They're sitting on top of a lot of, volcanic activity that radiates upward. There are a lot of natural hot springs, things like that. So a lot of it's really dark, but a lot of it's really a paradise. I know someone like me, I guess.
Well, I mean, if you like giant bats and really cool Gothic architecture, this is like the jam. And if you don't, then come on. Oh dear, people are here for the Lola Hopscotch crossover. So stay tuned for book 2, guys. Stay tuned. It's gonna be so.
We're gonna have to create Vorpal bunnies now. We're just gonna have to do it.
Yeah, I feel like
know in your heart they are Vorpal bunnies.
Just know, whether they're called that or not, just know you'll know because you're here with us. You'll know that this was the birthplace.
Yeah.
So great question here. So get one of these early readers or maybe just fast readers picked up today. I don't know, but so much good stuff.
She read the book. She was one of the first. Leslie was.
Rockstar Leslie. So
yeah.
Did you know, like you knew who the character was? Did you know what you wanted the story to be right away? It's a great question.
Yes, I knew I wanted it to be a coming of age hero who was not accepting of the role, came into it in a really excellent way in the end. I knew that's what I wanted to do. So in the beginning, it was a little bit, she had a lot more strife. There was a lot more things going on toward the end of like beta reads and stuff. I kind of had to dial some of that back, and it's saved for book 2. So I had her concentrate on the one thing that was going to save her world. And it ended up, she really streamlined her focus to killing this demon. When she like had denied people the knowledge that she had magical abilities for her whole life out of self-preservation and things like that. So she had to just do a complete 180 flip to get her life to fit into the role of a hero. She was not that. Like, she wanted to run away.
She wants to be done with this nonsense. Like creepy non-aging man who's going to kill whatever husband she has. No, absolutely not.
Yep. Yeah. I'm trying not to give away too
I
many.
know.
I almost
No
said something there that would have given away too much. So,
Yeah, I almost
Pump
feel like
the
what we
brakes.
should do is like 6 months after book release dates, have like spoiler conversations, like spoiler Q&As.
Oh yeah.
Like a little mini book club, but like people can come and be like, "Oh my god, this was bananas! How did you come up with this twist or whatever?"
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Maybe
That would
like
be fun. That would be a lot of fun.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
Just talk about that stuff. Oh dear. Well, so you did mention the Thoros are multi-dimensional, so it's possible, right, that they could go from the dimension that the Eldros legacy exists in over to the dimension where Lola Hopscotch is.
Yeah, a little hopscotch is saving the day. I don't know. I think that might be a bit of a stretch.
All right. Just saying. That's funny, but Lola Death Bunny is pretty hilarious. I love this.
Epic.
Epic.
Yes.
So those are mine and KCSL's murder kittens, our cat assassins. So
yeah,
you
a little
never
bit of ratio flavor there.
That's right. So if we're gonna go Monty Python with it, it's one of those like nobody expects the Death Bunny is
right.
Nobody. Their powers are 3: heavy swords, teeth. I don't know. Come up with a third power, you guys. Okay. So some other cool stuff. So there are some short stories out in the world, so people can also get a little bit more flavor of Eldros and a little more flavor of Pyronon. So the very first short story I read was the origin of a god on Pyronon.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about how gods work in
sure. So giants and gods as a rule are very similar in how powerful they can be.
Mm-hmm.
But the cool thing about gods is the way that they can be created by belief. So this goddess Runa, way back in the day, was created by the belief of a little girl. So, and she turns out to be the most powerful god that is worshipped on Pyronon right now. She pretty much, yeah. So that's a really cool way of thinking. I think that was Rob Howell said it that way, and I just thought, wow, what a great way to to create gods. Because if you look, even back in mythology, the way gods were created, it was all how far you delved into that world and what they stood for. So yeah, that's what that first short story is about. And that's in our freebie. You can get that at eldroslegacy.com if you haven't already. There is a really good pilot for all 5 of the continents. That's one of the first things that we founders put together, together as a joint creation. It was a really great
tasting menu.
Yeah. So free book. Yay.
I mean, and really good reading. I kept telling myself, like, okay, stop. You've read one, read another one tomorrow. No, I read them all. I read them all the night. But it was like, I think it was at a convention when I got them. And I was in my room,
yeah,
2 to
really
3 a.m.
Yeah.
So good. Yes. Be prepared.
Yeah.
Be prepared. You're just going to tear through them. Oh, dear. The bunnies. I always love when the chat just like, go. They're gone. We've lost them.
Takes a turn. Yeah. Thanks, Jonathan.
We've lost them to the there bunnies. All right, cage match. We got dire bunnies. Wait. So, and Ibsen. This is Jamie Ibsen, who I heard a rumor just passed in his book today. Congratulations, Jamie.
Wow, I cannot wait to read that. I'm a fan of Jamie's writing too. I'm a fan of like all of our writing, but Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie is great. Like, it's absurd. Yeah. I disapprove, Jamie. Too good. But also he lives in, yes, simmer with the talent, buddy. But he lives in the Great Frozen North, home of the Cobra chickens, obviously. And so if anybody was qualified to come up with dire geese, I feel like it's pretty much Jamie that checks out. Yeah. So it's fine. And we've heard rumors are the book is good, like all caps good. Not even a pun to be found there. So
just straight up good book.
Straight up, it's good. That's pretty great.
Jamie. Yeah.
That's amazing. And I would obviously, yes, the chat, the chat has run amok as you do.
Yeah, as we expected. We totally expected it. Can't take these guys anywhere.
I mean, you can. It's going to be highly entertaining, but it will be
never a dull
wild.
moment.
Yes, wild and crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, right. They are hate geese. I'm going to eat them, but
I hate
don't
geese.
punch
All
them.
geese are hate geese. I have a geese story.
Oh, yes, tell the geese story.
Goodness. So whenever I was growing up, I grew up on a mini ranch, and we had cows and chickens and goats and ducks and horses, and we had, everything on a small amount of acreage. So it was a really managed footprint. And I got along with everybody except the geese, who were mean, and they were big, white, tall geese. And
Sure.
so there's two stories. So there's this one goose used to chase me, and my dad built our house when I was growing up, and there was a sliding glass door, and we didn't have the steps all the way up there yet, and I had run from this goose. I mean, ran out of the barnyard, run through everything. It flew over the gate, and it was just right after me, and I could hear it. Its wings were like beating the ground and everything, and it was like making the skronking noise, and I was a dead girl. I knew I was a dead girl, but I made it to the door, and I flung it open, and I grabbed a hold of the sides, and I went to jerk myself into the doorway, all at the same time yelling at my mother to get her effing goose. It grabbed a hold of the back of my coat. I had on my long winter coat, and it grabbed a hold of the back of that coat and jerked me out of that doorway and onto my back.
Like, absolutely not, lady.
Me and murder geese go way back. So same goose, happy ending for me. Same goose decided to attack my mother one time, and she was holding on to a grain bucket and just about beat this goose to death with that grain bucket because it nipped into her and wouldn't let go. So then there was an understanding in the yard.
Yeah, it was.
My mom was a badass.
Sounds. Your mom was like, you know what?
Give her a bucket, nothing was safe.
Right. You tried to clothesline my daughter. That's one thing, but you no. Today is too far. It's too far. You've gone too far.
Yep. Too far.
I will say, Dan, yes, a goose story or some sort of animal story, because I don't have a goose story, but I do have an alligator story. And as we all know, those are very closely related. So,
yes, they are.
I mean, geese are basically dinosaurs.
They both hiss. So, yep.
That's right. Yeah, they're both mean. So,
yeah.
And also, they are angry birds. This is correct. I cannot believe people are correct. This murder goose. What a jerk. Like, did you guys get to eat it at the end?
I don't remember. My mom didn't kill it with the bucket. She almost killed it with the bucket. She said she stopped because then she would have to dress him out and put him in the freezer and all of that. So
that was
she didn't.
that she needed that day.
Yeah, they're kind of greasy. So
yeah. Properly prepared.
Nope.
We don't like geese here, guys. We're not fans. So
nope. No geese for us.
Read Jamie's story for their murder properly illuminated, and you will get to know. Jerks.
Yes.
That was a good segue. I like the goose segue. I like that you're like, you know what, actually, we're gonna talk about geese right now. This is really important. So
yeah, I figured maybe, since we were talking about bunnies, we might as well talk about the other side of the barnyard.
That's right. Yeah. The less fun, the mean side. Mean side of the barnyard. Amazing. Oh my goodness. Geese. What is something, without giving spoilers, let's see if we can answer this one. What is something you want people to know about your protagonist? Now let's do it this way. What are 3 words you would use to describe her? If you had to just introduce her in 3 words, what would you do?
Oh, man. Tenacious, soft-hearted, and adaptable.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that puts Mahela in a pretty good picture of Mahela.
That's a good one. I was gonna ask, like, what are something you're so excited for people to find out about her, but they need to read the book and find it out.
Yeah.
So instead, now we have lost our chat to preparation of goose eating. So
Christmas Turgusen.
with a nice sauce. Like we're just
Yep.
you guys, I love you. I just love you collectively as a chaotic.
These are always fun.
It's just delightful. I just really love people.
Uh-huh.
Also, someday. So this show is about Marie, but I do enjoy my alligator story also as well. But not alligators because they're also jerks. But
yeah, notorious.
notorious jerks.
Yeah.
Yes. Guys, I can't. With you are delightful, all of you. The geese are in the pudding. I don't know. It's amazing. Book 2, Pyronon, is going to be Goose 2, The Revenge.
Yeah. My gosh. I would like to see Jonathan write a goose story. That would be flipping hilarious.
Oh my goodness. Jonathan, please put challenge accepted in the chat. Please write us a goose story. The action
story. Yeah.
Like his action scenes with a goose?
With
yes.
Yep. It'll happen.
Yeah, this should happen.
Yeah.
I'm sure Todd could have been responding to something else, but I think it was to this idea that Jonathan Mayberry has to write a goose story for us. Somebody do an anthology. I don't know. Murder Birds.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody is doing a Murder Birds anthology.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's out there.
Yeah. Somebody from, so speaking of, we're going to come right back to your book, but Marie is busy, y'all. Like Marie does so many things. One of the things she does with this incredible team of people is Superstars Seminar, which I think is where the Murder Birds anthology came out of. So I'm sensing a theme.
I think
here.
so.
Yeah, so weird.
Yeah.
But do you wanna tell folks about some of your other projects, Superstars, that other cool stuff that takes up so much time?
So Superstars, Superstars is a drink from the fire hose. Yeah, there it is right there. You can go on over to superstarswriting.com. We like to teach about the business of writing. We also have a craft day that is the Wednesday preceding the 3-day business seminars. And we have a really good group of people that we have a tribe culture there. And once all you have to do is go once and you'll know what I'm talking about. We look out for one another. Yeah, Marissa, you got to come last year, and we teach one another, and we just support one another and celebrate one another's triumphs and everything. And it's definitely changed my life, like even the way I do things that aren't really writing related in my life. But yeah, Superstars definitely changed my writing career for the good, and that was back in 2015. It was I think it was 2015 or 14, one of those years back then. Special thanks to Kevin Eikenberry for talking me into going, and I was scared to death. My first Superstars, I went and I was like back in the back of the room and didn't know where to sit and everything. And there was a nice man with an empty seat next to him. And it was in the very back. And I went up there and just quietly sat down because I couldn't find Ike. Ike was working. And so I started talking to this guy, and I was looking over the schedule, and I was like, oh my gosh, what are you going to go do and everything? And he's like, oh yeah, I don't know what I'm going to go do. The table signs were turned out. They were turned out. So when I sat down, I didn't know who I had sat down next to. And so, we just got to be really good, like chatter friends, talking and saying, this was an incredibly nice man I was sitting next to. And so he's like, well, I got to go. And I'm like, oh, okay, which one are you going to? And he's like, he points to this one, and it says Todd McCaffrey.
Oh my God.
I'm like, oh, is he a good speaker? I'm so thick. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe you go to that one. Maybe I should go to that one with you instead of this and stuff. And, yeah, that was my start to Superstars.
That's awesome.
Todd and I are still buddies. He let me live it down. He doesn't bring it up or anything.
Very much.
That's.
Oh, that was amazing. Somebody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
cute.
So that was my first Superstars.
That's
That
fantastic.
was, I was a baby writer. And so, yeah, after that, I figured there's no way I'm going to top that interest. So I just sort of immersed myself. And now here I am. I get to be a part of actually working to change the lives of other authors. And that's actually what Superstars is all about, is, offering and helping and learning about what everybody else is doing in their careers and sharing and things like that. So
Yeah, no, that's true. And then we're gonna come back to that quote, Jeremy. Good call. We're not gonna let that go, Jonathan. But first, let's start here. So everything, I cannot say enough great things about Superstars. I went last year, partly because a chunk of authors and editors in my little wheelhouse just rave about it all the time, including Kevin Eckenberry and Maya, Mark Stallings, like just all of these great people. And I was like, yeah, maybe I'll go. I I'm so glad. I'm so glad I went. I'm going back next year, y'all. Like, it's so great. It really is. Like, people are
really
so
good to see you
kind.
there.
Yeah,
And you dove right in and started running part of the reg desk and everything. So that was was cool. We do run on a lot of volunteer love and things like that, and people, stepping in to help and stuff like that. And I just walked by the reg desk and looked past my clipboard, and there's Marisa sitting there checking people in. So,
yeah, that's awesome. Don't give me any credit for that. That was 100% Maya being like, "Oh, you're here? Yeah. So here's your job. Here's how you're gonna do it. And thank you so much." And I was like, "Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you." Maya is sharp and she is on it and she is amazing. Yes. And she's like, "You know how you'll feel less awkward is if you have a job." And she was correct. So
yes,
wonderful.
Yep. Big true.
Yeah. I also met Todd McCaffrey at a at a convention also, and I doubt he'll remember this because I'm sure this happens to him all the time. But we were hanging out with Toni Weisskopf, who is the editor-in-chief for Baen, and I had just really talked to her for maybe the first time that day. And was introduced to her by my dear friend, one of my favorite people in the whole world, Casey Azell, who was like, "Yeah, Toni, Marisa and I used to write Pern fan fiction. This is like how we got to know each other. This is how we started writing." Toni was like, cool. So Todd McCaffrey shows up because Tony's there. So yeah, Todd's gonna come hang out with Toni. Cool. Mm-hmm. And so Toni, who I had met maybe an hour before, was like chatting with Todd. And she goes, "Marisa, why don't you tell Todd how you and Casey met?" And I was like, cool. So I wrote. Yeah, thanks for that, Jeremy. We'll get back to that. I was like, I wrote fan fiction of your mom's world for like 20 years. Like, he was just so charming and delightful about it. But I was like, super nice to meet you. You write that like officially now, so that's not weird at all. Okay. It's so funny. He's very sweet. Okay. Superstars, as folks have pointed out, thank you, James, for pointing this out. The scholarship application window is still open. Yes. Becca, this is how I met Becca. Actually, she was at Superstars last year too, and now she's written a story in Valkyries, which is a new world that we're launching. She's freaking amazing, you guys. She's also writing Eldros.
Sweet too, and she made a little lovey doll for my grandbaby.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's adorable.
Yeah. And she's talented in like 8 different ways.
She's super talented. Yes.
Again, Becca, pump down on the talent level. It's not fair. You got to save some for the rest of us. Yes. Melissa. Oh yeah, we're getting to that, Dan. So Melissa is also going to Superstars for the first time.
Yep, I saw her registration come in just a few days ago. Yay! Get to meet you in the same room finally. Melissa, that'll be great.
Oh man. So, and then Jonathan Mayberry did once ask Ray Bradbury if he was a writer. So that's
okay.
pretty fantastic. That's right up there with your Todd story. I feel like that's delightful.
That's a good one too.
It's like, so cool. Have you ever heard of science fiction, Ray? I think you might like it. That would be so great. Oh my God. Yes, you guys on the chat, you're so wonderful. Maya, she is small but fierce, and she is all caps amazing. We love her. Okay, let's just talk about how great Maya is. Oh my God, amazing.
It's easy. It's like there's where do you start? That's the hard part. But
right? Yeah, it's
get
true.
going. Yeah.
She's so great. So the Pern porn that my husband, producer Jeremy, decided to pop on to say quickly. It won't let me show it, but there we go. Okay. So fan fiction, Pern, two of my dear friends who are writers now and published and wonderful and awesome. I won't put them all on blast, but at the same time, we were in 3 different time zones and 3, I don't remember, but our 3 significant others, then boyfriends, now husbands, at the exact same time were asking us what we're doing because we're like chatting on G-Chat, like having a good time, being dorky. And they were like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, you're doing your dragon stuff. Oh, is it Pern porn? Like, immediately, all 3 of them, they did not know each other, different time zones, Pern porn.
That's
all
what
3
he
of
said.
them. That's so
Okay.
Jeremy, every time, and McCaffrey. So Jeremy can never meet Todd McCaffrey, obviously, but here we go. So
It's very gracious when you do, no matter how awkward you are. Todd is gracious. So
yeah, but let's not yell about porn at Todd McCaffrey, who is so nice. Jonathan Mayberry would like us to know again that he was 12 when he asked Ray Bradbury. Fine. But you know what though, Jonathan, you were today years old when you agreed to write a goose story. That is up in the chat somewhere. I'm not going to scroll to find it, but he did accept that challenge. So
we've all seen it. Yep.
Yeah, we all saw it. It's in writing.
Jonathan is also permanent faculty for Superstars. So he's, of course, one of my favorites. But yeah, just his knowledge, the wealth of knowledge that Jonathan brings as a program director, I can ask him, hey, do you have this to teach or that to teach? And he can do it. So yeah, nice. It's nice.
Can confirm. So I just met him briefly at Superstars, but it did go to his, it wasn't first page. It was something about openings, a class that he taught about like how to open a story and sir can write, right? So of course I was like, yes, please tell me all the things. I rewrote the first page of a novel while at Superstars, thanks to his advice. And then read it at the first page party, and people were like, yes, that was delightful. And I was like, yeah, thanks to Jonathan Mayberry. And also a good teacher, like good writer and good teacher. That doesn't always go together, but
all around good dude. It's one of my best friends.
Oh dear. Hold on, we're still going sideways. I don't think that's true, but well played. Although the Magicians, which was this wonderful, it was a book series and then this delightful urban fantasy show on Sci-Fi. They did in one of the seasons have like one of the characters was reading a book called The Dragon Riders of Porn, and I cackled out loud. Like if I were more tech savvy, I would have taken like a screenshot of it and sent it to my husband, but it's pretty fabulous. It's good stuff. So, it was good. We can also say nice things. Yes. So Jonathan Mayberry, whole package, knowledge, stories, martial arts tips. It's pretty good.
Yep. Knows how to make the best martini ever.
Oh, nice. Also will tell you some pretty great stories. So
yes, he does have good
stories. In a room,
yeah.
Superstars. If you can be in a room, hear some stories. You want to do that. Yeah. That's pretty great. So, okay. So back to Embers and Ash. We got to talk about how amazing Marie is again, and then we're gonna do some giveaways. It's gonna be so good. Okay. So
giveaways.
If anybody is still on the fence for some crazy reason about reading Embers and Ash, what would you tell them to tip them into reading this book, like ASAP?
The feel of the book is kind of a sweeping, like war is coming feeling. You get that kind of from the beginning because of some of the things that are coming apart, and when societies come apart, new systems, come into play, and people and systems vie for control. So if you like the kind of fantasy where there's just an epic war coming and you can sense it, and you're looking into doorways, as you go through the story, and you're seeing different possibilities, and you start to get the feeling that something big is going to come through one particular doorway. That's the kind of story that I was trying to write with Embers. So it's we definitely have a civil war brewing. My cohorts for Pyronon are really picking up the heat in that direction, like different things that are going on in their little areas on the continent. So it's not just my sandbox anymore. I think Embers and Ash is like the first book on Pyronon, and it just sort of opens it up for the cohorts to play and really expand on their areas that they chose in Pyronon. So I think just the one thing that I would say is it quickly became my happy place, and somewhere that I found myself able to just be immersed in a story like I haven't been able to do since I first started writing way back in the day. When I first started, like back in the first scales and like the Witcher time and stuff like that, when I just was able to totally delve into a storyline. Haven't had that in a very long time until I wrote Embers. So it's got a lot of me in it, I guess.
Oh,
So
Maria, I love that. I was recently talking about that with another author, well, the boss, Chris Kennedy. We recently read a book together that came out, and we were saying, like, when the authors have fun, like when the authors really get into the book, like you can feel that as a reader. And just the way you were talking about, like, I kept having to sit up because I'm like hunched in listening to you, like, yes, I want all of that in my eyeballs immediately. That sounds wonderful.
It's just, I mean, it's great when you can be in the process so much and then you just discover that you're laughing or you're crying or you're shaking or you're just so pissed off or something like that. You're just so into what's going on and what you're putting your characters through. So it was really good to get back into a story that way. So that's what Embers Nash stands for me.
Nice. I love that. So you want a book, y'all, that's going to wrap itself around your heart, yank it down, break it into a million pieces, give it back to you. This is a book. Sounds like that you want to read, because when the world falls apart, some characters are going to see what they're made of. So buy this book. Buy this book. Also, as Maya might say, palace intrigue, giant mysteries. There's a pun.
The court intrigue was fun. That's one of the things that I really wanted to try, to do. I hadn't been able to set myself up to do something like that before. So court intrigue, yes.
Nice.
And that was fun. Setting up people who are different kind of connivers and things like that. Yeah, different races and different people who are vying for things for different reasons.
Yeah.
And just how low they will go to get those things. So yeah, that's fun.
Nice. We also we should have one more pun from Todd. Well, Jeremy is going to behind the scenes choose our winners of the giveaway, and we'll revisit what those are in a second. But a big war, ... Some might say a giant war.
Oh my gosh.
That's a pun.
He's like,
that's a pun, guys.
Owie, it hurts us.
So good. It burns, precious. It burns. Okay. Also, Superstars, which you should go to if you are a writer at any point in the writing journey, from theorizing about it to publish several times. You will learn things. You will meet people. It will be amazing. And from Dan, if you ever meet or pitch to Jonathan Mayberry, be prepared. Have a business card.
Yes. Yeah. He is a firm believer. One other cool thing that's going on about Superstars is Chris Kennedy is returning to enlighten us with some publishing knowledge and whatnot. And I'm really excited. We just started getting back into the programming vibe. So yeah, we were chatting on Facebook about it 2 days ago. So I'm really excited about that. That's one of my favorites.
Chris Kennedy knows a thing or two about a thing or two. So
he does.
That's going to be good. Oh. Literary tough love, literally.
Yeah.
Also, you should probably all know that There is maniacal giggling when Marie enters into a story. Now we know. The window
Yeah.
into the process.
There is.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Also, I love it. We have caused injuries. You're welcome, Courtney. Marie and I are such delights that people's cheeks hurt. I'm so glad, Courtney. And I cannot wait to see your book.
Oh, yeah. They did an amazing job. We have numerous people work on our cover aesthetic. We have, of course, Shake Caleb, who did the art, but we have Quincy Allen, who is also our multi-talented designer with the, putting it all together. Shen Stallings is Mark Stallings' brother. He is our map creator, and he makes it look easy, but there's no way it can be easy. I mean, he does a beautiful job, and that is something that I had never been able to do either, was actually work with the designer to create a map. And so all of our books have these beautiful maps in them, thanks to Sean Stallings. The other Sean Olson, does our title treatments. So the beautiful Embers Ash title treatment, he did that. Melissa Gay did our Thuros, the big gateway wrapping, and then the big Eldros banner at the top. She did all of that. So we have so many wonderful, talented people that helped their hard work went into creating that aesthetic. We are one lucky bunch of writers to have that.
I love it. I love it. Everything about it, like the stories are so great. The art is so great, and they are aligned, right? Like the art does not lie to you about what you're going to get. You're going to get an amazing, potentially rollicking, potentially heartrending, who knows, which it depends on your continent. You're going to get an amazing story that really harkens back to like the roots of epic fantasy. Like and the artist plays such a big part in that. That's so great.
Thank you. It's the first look.
Also, apparently Sean did some of the logo at the top. Great. His maps are like all caps amazing.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And also apparently he's also fast. See, again, this level of talent, folks. I'm gonna need people to pump down. Like you can be really good at it and like really quick. No. Preciousness has to. No, that's amazing. That's really cool. Also, yes, own your puns. Don't be cowards. I don't think anybody in this chat has a problem with that, Dan.
Nope. Own that stuff.
Seems. Okay, so the giveaway prizes are again the fabulous coin, and also there was a second prize you were talking about.
Yeah, I want to give away a hardback. So Chris Kennedy does these. Well, yeah, we have hardbacks, and they are beautiful, and that's one of the big perks that I really love about the way that we're going about this. The case bound with the art, on it, and they are just so cool looking. So yeah, I'm gonna give away one of those of the Embers. Makes my fingers kind of curl up thinking about getting my hands on one. So
I love it. Okay, so Marie, if you want to secretly go into our private chat on the right side, Jeremy has announced
private chat.
Yeah, there's a private chat. You guys don't get to see it. It's really just Jeremy reminding me to do things because I forget. Okay. I get so distracted. So you will see who the two winners are, and you can decide what order you would like to announce it. Okay. So great.
All right. So should I do it like okay, so this one is the winner of the oh my gosh, this is tough. This is really hard.
If you want.
Huh?
You can make them fight to the death over who gets what if you want.
Yeah.
Do that. No blood.
Okay. All right, so the first one I'm going to announce is Mrs. B, Leslie Bridgewater. This is one of my faves. So yeah, she wins, and I think the best way to go forward is to give them a choice.
Okay, I love it.
I have more than one coin, and I have more than one hardback. So Why don't we do it that way? Leslie, if you can go ahead and let us know if you would rather have a hardcover edition, a signed hardcover edition, or a coin. And then let me know when you guys want to move to the second winner.
I think she's got to think about it. Look, I think she's very hooray, Leslie. Also, I find this hilarious because Dan Bridgewater, similar, you might know this last name, has won a giveaway in the last two Eldros giveaways. So I feel like there's some like Bridgewater.
I know. There's like they're controlling the lotto wheel.
They're good. Well, they're good people. That's nice too.
Yeah.
So, and she would like the signed hardcover.
Signed hardcover. Cool. All right, it's yours. Neato.
Congrats.
Yeah. Okay, should I go ahead and do the second one? Yeah. Okay, the second one, the winner is Jonathan Mayberry.
Woo!
Yay!
Working so hard at Superstars. No, just get Jeremy like randomly showing commenters. So good job, guys.
Yeah. So Jonathan, if you could let us know if you'd rather have a signed hardcover or a Pyronine coin.
Cool, Pyronine.
It's yours, whichever. That was fun.
That's so fun. Giveaways are so much fun.
They are.
And the chats are so fun. Like anybody who wins is going to be amazing. You guys really like made the show.
Yeah.
So, oh, yeah. No, okay, I can't. I'm trying to click. I have a bad feeling, Jeremy. So, Jeremy, you click. There we go. Jonathan has been surprised.
Yeah, Jonathan, you won.
I love it. I think though, Jonathan, you have to make the martini though, is the important thing, right? Yeah. So you get the coin from Marie and then you pay her back with the martini.
Yeah, he makes a martini.
That's what I'm hearing. I'm also hearing that if I'm at Superstars again this year, I should also get a martini. I don't know why. I have no justification for this. I've just decided that I should.
Just is kind of becoming a thingy now. Martinis.
Yes, martinis. Yeah, it feels important.
Martinis. Yummy.
Just inviting myself to delicious martinis. Yeah. So yay, giveaways. So exciting. Nick Steverson has demanded a recount. Sorry, Nick.
Dang it.
The rules of dibs have been violated, but also congrats. So
congratulations, everyone.
So good. Oh man, you guys, you've made this chat so delightful. I could stay and talk to you.
It's like my eyes have been watering and my cheeks kind of smile cramps. I don't know. What are they? What are these smile cramps?
I know.
I don't even know what to call it, but
it could be worse, right? It could be worse. I'm just gonna keep making that face on the internet. That's gonna be great.
Right.
So the takeaway, folks, is if you have not already read Embers and Ash, you should get on it. You can go pick it up right now on Amazon. If you see Marie at a convention, maybe you can convince her to let you buy one of the hardcovers. But you should definitely at least get the ebook back or both.
What I have coming up next is this weekend we have Colorado Springs Comic-Con at the Broadmoor World Arena. Awesome. After that, DragonCon. Be at DragonCon.
See you there.
Yay. So yeah, that's one of my favorites. It's like I don't know, it's just always a good time. After that, Mile High Con in Denver. I have Mile High Con coming up. And then after that, I have 20 books to 50K in Vegas. So 20 books Vegas. And then after that, Albuquerque Comic Con. And after that, Superstars. So that's 6 months. That's far enough.
That's pretty awesome. I'm so excited I get to see you. Hopefully I get to see you at DragonCon. DragonCon is a party with 80,000 of your favorite friends. So
yep. We just have to make that happen. We have to like communicate when we land and everything. I'll be there. I think I'll land on the first Friday, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so
get there Wednesday because I'm a little obsessed. But we can talk about that in a second. That's fine. So here are all of the places. Go to mariewhitaker.com and that will be a great jumping off place to all of these other places to find Marie. Definitely check her out at the Comic-Con. She is as delightful in person as you can imagine from this video. And also get her stories.
How are you? Oh yeah, you can down at the bottom in my I don't know what that was.
Things are happening. Jeremy's trying to corral us.
You can join my newsletter, is what I was saying. Just scroll down to the bottom and you can put your email in there. And I do some giveaways and some fun stuff like that. Some stuff. So we have oh gosh, I was about to mention that Chris Kennedy has a code he can give away to get a discount on registering for Superstars, since he is an instructor. So hit Chris up. He has a code, and that'll get you $100 off your registration. So cute.
Yeah, do that. All right, so do that thing coming up on CKP, Inside CKP. I think that's what Jeremy was trying to do, is trying to get us. So next week, you can come right back here. It'll be slightly less chaotic. You're welcome. I'm sorry. I don't know. But Jeremy will be interviewing Jason Cordova, another incredible storyteller, who will also be a Gen Con with Marie and I. Next Wednesday, you can also watch a video with another Superstars alum / Gen Con attending pro, Mel Todd, and she's going to talk, it's pre-recorded, but she'll talk about her awesome Valkyrie story and her amazingness. We know so many great people here at CKP. So like and subscribe this page. We have, so here's, speaking of Kevin Eikenberry, Kevin Eikenberry is the guest this month on Future Books podcast, hosted right here on the CKP YouTube page. And you can hear him talk about the re-release of his incredible series of books.
Yes.
That kicks off.
That's like from back in the day when I first met Ike. He was working really hard on those. It's an incredible series.
Yes, it's so good. I mean, Kevin Eikenberry, another overly talented, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's fine. All these talented people. So subscribe to the channel. Yeah, if you haven't. I agree. So somewhere up here, Jonathan Mayberry said, "We are so much fun. We should take this on the road." I agree. We had a lot of fun.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I feel like we're making Jeremy like bash his head against the table, because I'm sure he's like ready for you to stop. However,
we don't know what he was getting into. Trying to warn him with the flailing comments, like the warm up. Didn't listen.
Right? You get on the screen with your grumpy forehead. Here to help. But I enjoy, we all have smile cramps, I hope, which, in the year 2022, enjoy. We need more smile cramps.
No, we're going to take it.
But so great. So go join Marie's newsletter. Definitely read Embers and Ash. And then, maybe in 6 months, we'll come back and do a little spoiler chat.
Let's do that. That would be fun.
Post Superstars, when she's had a chance to sleep for a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be so good. All right. Good night, awesome people. Congrats on your book release, Marie.
Thank you so much. Thanks for doing this too, and thanks, Jeremy. Thanks to everybody who came. Yes. I'm just really happy right now.
I know. Well, you're a rock star. Okay. Thanks, guys. Go buy the book.
Bye.
Jeremy's supposed to